We are looking at a process model which represents the planning of a new operation by the Army. The first task is for the Joint Chiefs to initialize some data, and then a commander establishes a concept of operations, and then it goes into a sub-process called mission thread gap analysis, in which an operational planner has to examine the operation and determine if there are any capability gaps, and if so, collaborate with some architects to solve those gaps. We're now in the workflow portion of M3O, and we are going to look at the mission thread gap analysis task. So the operational planner logs in and he determines there is a gap. He's going to define a new requirement, and as he is defining the requirement, all these properties are being stored in a semantic repository. So he's chosen the scope of the capability, he's given it a name, and now he is defining the inputs and outputs as well as the participant and the location. When he finishes his task, it will kick off another task to an architect who is going to assist him in formalizing the requirements and finding a solution. So the architect's task gives him the context in which he is working. He can see the ConOps and the requirement request. And then in step 2, he's going to be given some links to some other places in M3O. The first of which will be the process modeling tool, in which he will collaborate with the operational planner to formalize the requirements in the form of a business process model. And once they've finished doing this, they will go to the analytics portion of M3O, where we've built a dashboard which shows their operation as a process model. And then for a given activity, if you choose it, you can see some details about the activity, and all of this is coming from the semantic repository as well. So in one widget you can see the properties of the activity, and then in another widget you can see the status of the activity, and in the last widget you can see some software services which may enable the activity. And if you double click on one of those, you can see a dashboard where in the upper left corner we see the properties of the activity again, and then the available services, and then we can compare the properties of the services side by side. And all these widgets are also populated by the semantic repository. For some of the values of these properties, we can drill down and see more detailed data. For instance, we've drilled down on KML, which is the data format for this service, and we can see some details about that. We've also built another dashboard for portfolio managers where they can see all the capabilities in their portfolio, how much they cost to deliver and deploy, compared to each other, how much they're being used. And for one of those, if you drill down, you can go back to the same dashboard we saw before, where you can see the detailed properties of any of the activities.